Let's shift our attention to Iraq. A political impasse there has thrown the entire country into chaos. Over the weekend, the Iraqi parliament was stormed once again, but this time the protesters have refused to leave. They're making sweeping demands from the political leadership. Our next report tells you more about the worsening situation in the country.
It happened once again. And this time, they have no plans to leave. The Iraqi parliament was stormed once again. Tall concrete barriers failed to stop these angry Iraqis. There was a heavy police presence, even tear gas, but the protesters overpowered everything that came in their way. Once they were inside, they made their intentions clear.
This is a message to the parliament members from the Iraqi people. It is over, the authority of this parliament is over, and the power is for the people, and people will decide the destiny.
We entered the parliament building for the third time to root out the corrupt political parties and militias. We are here to fix Iraq and get it back to its position by the word of people and with God's blessing in our leader, Muqtada al-Sadr.
Muqtada al-Sadr is the driving force behind this wave of protests. He hasn't visited the scene even once. But his supporters have crippled Iraq. They are determined. They will vacate the parliament only when their conditions are met. The protesters have lofty demands. They want early elections, sweeping constitutional amendments, and the ouster of al-Sadr's political rivals. The protesters are targeting what's called the Coordination Framework. This is an alliance of Shiite parties backed by Iran. It is led by former Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki. He wants pro-Iranian candidates to be installed in elite posts. Al-Maliki and his supporters have put their weight behind Mohammed Shia al-Sudani. He was nominated for premiership, but al-Sadr is determined to derail his rise. He first withdrew from the ruling coalition. Then members of parliament from the al-Sadr camp resigned from parliament. But that wasn't enough. Al-Sadr is now waging a battle for power from the streets. His rivals are responding. The coordination framework has called for a counter-protest. The caretaker prime minister has issued an appeal to al-Sadr's supporters.
It is a very difficult time. It is the bitter truth, unfortunately. We all have to cooperate and stand together so we do not push ourselves into the abyss. We have to judge by our minds, our conscience and our sentiments and stick to Iraq and the Iraqis, not petty interests. I call on everyone to be patient, calm and rational, not being drawn to a clash. I call on citizens not to clash with security forces and to respect state institutions.
Longest political crisis in years. It has only increased the suffering of Iraqis. Hundreds have been hurt in the protests. 100 protesters and 25 members of the security forces suffered injuries over the weekend. Despite the crackdown, the protesters seem prepared for the long haul. They have set up tents outside the parliament. Their takeover has only raised the risk of a violent showdown. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.